The village of Udugu nestled at the edge of the vast Serengeti. At the heart of this village stood a majestic baobab tree. In this village lived a man named Kwame. He was a respected elder. Kwame was married to Amina, a woman of extraordinary beauty, with skin as smooth as ebony and eyes that sparkled like stars in the night sky. Their union was the envy of many, a beacon of love and respect. However, beneath the surface of this idyllic life, shadows lurked. One day, a stranger arrived in Udugu. He was a tall, imposing figure, dressed in fine clothes and adorned with gold jewelry that glittered in the sunlight. His name was Malik, and he spoke of distant lands and unimaginable wealth. The villagers were fascinated by his tales and the promises of prosperity he brought. Amina too was drawn to Malik. She listened intently to his stories, her eyes widening with each account of riches and luxury. Malik noticed her interest and began to pay her special attention, whispering sweet words and promises of a life beyond her wildest dreams. Kwame, wise as he was, sensed the danger Malik posed. He warned Amina to stay away from the stranger, reminding her of the simple but fulfilling life they shared. But Amina's heart had already been ensnared by Malik's charm and the glittering vision of wealth he painted. Despite Kwame's warnings, Amina began to meet Malik in secret. Under the cover of darkness, they would rendezvous near the old baobab tree. Malik showered Amina with gifts, gold necklaces, silk garments, and rare perfumes. In return, Amina found herself drawn deeper into his web of deceit. Malik's promises grew bolder. He spoke of a life far away from Udugu, a life where Amina could be queen, surrounded by servants and opulence. Blinded by her desire for wealth, Amina began to dream of this new life, a life without Kwame. Malik's plan was set into motion. He convinced Amina that to secure their future together, she must help him acquire the village's hidden treasure, a legendary stash of gold and jewels said to be buried beneath the baobab tree. This treasure, Malik claimed, would be their ticket to a new life. Amina, torn between her loyalty to Kwame and her desire for the promised riches, finally succumbed to Malik's pressure. She agreed to help him. Under the pretense of gathering herbs for a traditional remedy, Amina lured Kwame to the baobab tree. As Kwame dug into the earth, believing he was helping his wife, Malik appeared with a sinister grin. Together they overpowered Kwame, binding him to the tree. With Kwame out of the way, Malik and Amina began their search for the treasure. Days turned into weeks, and the treasure remained elusive. Malik's demeanor changed. He grew impatient and cruel, lashing out at Amina for their failure. The promises of wealth and grandeur began to fade like a mirage in the desert. Meanwhile, Kwame, bound and helpless, whispered ancient incantations to the spirits of the baobab tree. He called upon the ancestors, seeking their guidance and protection. The tree, ancient and wise, responded. Its roots began to stir, and a sense of foreboding filled the air. One night, as Malik and Amina argued over their futile search, a storm erupted. Lightning split the sky, illuminating the village and the towering baobab tree. The ground trembled, and the tree's roots broke free, revealing a hidden cavern beneath. In the cavern lay not gold or jewels, but a sacred relic, an ancient mask of great power. The mask was said to grant wisdom and protection to its wearer, a gift from the ancestors to the rightful guardian of the village. Malik, driven by greed, lunged for the mask, but as his fingers brushed its surface, a blinding light erupted, casting him aside. The mask, now in Amina's hands, pulsed with energy. She felt its power coursing through her, revealing the truth of her actions and the gravity of her betrayal. Kwame, still bound to the tree, called out to Amina. His voice, though weak, carried the weight of love and forgiveness. Amina, tears streaming down her face, approached her husband. She placed the mask on Kwame's face, hoping it would heal the wound she had inflicted. As the mask settled on Kwame's face, the storm subsided. A calm descended upon the village, and the baobab tree's roots retreated back into the earth. Kwame's bonds fell away, and he stood tall, his eyes filled with a newfound wisdom. Amina, filled with remorse, fell to her knees before Kwame. She begged for his forgiveness, her heart heavy with guilt. Kwame, now imbued with the wisdom of the ancestors, lifted her to her feet. The path to redemption is long and arduous, Kwame said, his voice gentle yet firm. But it begins with a single step of truth and repentance. Together, they returned to the village, where the elders awaited them. Amina confessed her sins and the village, guided by Kwame's wisdom, decided her fate. Amina was given a chance to atone for her betrayal. She was to serve the village, using her newfound humility and remorse to heal the wounds she had caused. Malik, banished from Udugu, disappeared into the wilderness, his fate a cautionary tale for generations to come. Kwame, with the sacred mask in his possession, continued to guide the village with wisdom and compassion. The baobab tree, its roots entwined with the spirit of the ancestors, stood as a testament to the resilience and strength of Udugu. And so, under the shadow of the baobab tree, the village of Udugu flourished. The story of Kwame and Amina became a legend, a reminder of the dangers of greed and the power of forgiveness. The village thrived, bound by the lessons of the past and the promise of a brighter future. And as the sun set over the Serengeti, the baobab tree stood tall, its branches reaching for the heavens, a silent guardian of the land and its people.